There is no question that Russia attacked us.
Or attacks, ladies and gentlemen, on our Constitution.
Attack on the integrity of our elections.
There is already, in my view, ample evidence in the public domain on the issue of collusion, if you're willing to see it.
So that's been the drumbeat from the Democrats for the last couple of years. But now that the 2018 midterms are right around the corner, party leaders say that they want to move on and get to a new message for their voters. They say they can't get any press on the real issues because reporters only want to talk about Russia. Here now, Meredith Kelly, the communications director of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. Meredith, good to see you tonight. But it's everywhere. It's all you hear about. I flip around the channels. Everything's all about Russia. So it makes it tough for you guys to get your message out.
Certainly, first of all, thanks for having me, Martha. Russia is certainly a big topic, and this investigation is one that a lot of people are focused on. But Democratic candidates all across the country are actually talking directly to voters about the issues that impact their everyday lives. And I do think they're breaking through. They're talking about affordable health care, protecting Medicare and Social Security, and more jobs and better wages. And I do think on the district-specific level, they're having those local conversations.
Do you think a lot of people care about Russia when you talk to folks who are out there in the country? Do they care?
It's not the first, second, or third thing that voters are telling us in the House battlefield in these swing districts. I think people want this investigation to go unimpeded, but they really care about those pocketbook issues, and that's what Democratic candidates are trying to focus on.
Certainly what we find when we go out across the country as well. So you're looking at Arkansas, Kentucky, a couple of Texas districts. We have a map to put up where these districts are. Tell me what are the trends? What are you looking for, and how do you hope to flip those districts?
Well, tomorrow night is a good example of the huge number of veterans, prosecutors, and candidates with records of service that are running on the Democratic side this cycle. So that's certainly a trend, whether they've served their community or our country or both. You've also seen the strength of female candidates who have, in previous primaries,
I think we have some of these races. We can put up the boards and the people that she's referring to. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think that last week in Pennsylvania and in Nebraska, we saw a number of women doing well, which is consistent with the enthusiasm that we've been seeing from women in terms of voting in the midterms. And I think you're seeing candidates that fit these districts. Arkansas is different than Texas, which is different than Kentucky, and there's no one size fits all. But you're seeing
Southern candidates I was reading say that it bothers them. They feel like they don't get enough attention from the national organization of the party.
Well, we're trying to build the largest battlefield in a decade. We're targeting more than 100 districts, so we're doing our best to provide as much assistance to candidates running for office as possible. Of course, it's a big battlefield, and certainly we're giving the best service we can.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see some great candidates come through the primaries.
Tell me about the Arkansas District 2 race real quick.
Sure. Clark Tucker is a candidate there who's a local elected official, and he actually got into the race. He's running against French Hill. He got into the race because he had cancer, and he saw how French Hill voted to repeal affordable health care, and that motivated him to run. And I do expect him to come through the primary tomorrow night in first place, and that'll be central. Health care will be central to that general election.
And Pete Sessions is one that you think is vulnerable in Texas, Republican vulnerable in Texas.
Yes, that's the Dallas area, and Secretary Clinton won that district after a long string of Republicans winning in the past. Colin Allred is who the DCCC has put on our Red to Blue program, which means we think it's he's the most competitive candidate. He's a Tennessee Titans former NFL player, went on to become a successful lawyer, and just grew up in this district and really embodies the district.
And Hillary Clinton, as we said, is headlining a big event. I think it's interesting because she said that she thought that women who voted for Trump were just listening to their husbands, and she thinks women should not be afraid to elect a woman. And yet in the New York race, she's not backing Cynthia Nixon. She's backing Andrew Cuomo. What's that about?
Well, I can't speak to her decision. I just know that Governor Cuomo and Secretary Clinton go way back, but I can't really speak to that. I know that our Democratic candidates feel very strongly about earning the trust of every voter, whether they voted for Trump or Secretary Clinton, and we won't be able to win back the House without their support. So we're working on earning that trust.
All right. We will see. It's going to be fascinating to watch. Meredith, thank you very much. Good to have you here tonight. I hope you'll come back as we move through the midterms.